Say welcome, Robyn. Welcome to Forensic Healing Full Protocol, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to trial the full protocol with you. And you have been, you'll explain what you've been through. But my understanding is you've gone through. You've been a Supersoldier, MK Ultra, 20 and backs, and other stuff. So I would really like to know a little bit about you, and probably as we go along, you'll also add bits just to understand this kind of concept that people have been taken off planet or as a child, been MK Ultra'd and all sorts of stuff. So, help us understand a little bit more about this.
Okay, so when I was a year old, I received an electric shock. And from that point, I always had a foot in every world. So I could see what no one else could see. I could see dead people, I could see aliens, I could see all sorts of things, anything that was around. And I used to talk to them a lot. And this went on, that was quite okay. I actually had a spirit guide, or I don't know what you call him, but whether he was good or bad, I don't know. But he was the man with the green bowler hat, and he looked after me till I was 6. So I would always ask, I'd say to my mother, could he come with us when we go out? And then he'd come with us if we went out. Mum used to humour me. She was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I hit 6, that's when all the really nasty stuff started happening. So what I called the small people, they would come and they would take me. They would take me away to somewhere else.
What were they called?
I just used to call them the little people because they were small. I now know they were greys. But at that
really?
time, they were, and they weren't nice, and it terrified me. And
wow.
I would lay in bed at night, and with the things that were happening, because I also had a lot of spook activity going on. So I would lay in bed and 6 years old, and I'd think to myself, as long as my head is sticking out of the blankets and everything else is covered, they can't take me. But of course they did. But that's just what, that was one of the things I really vividly remember when I was a child, because, where they'd take me, a doorway would open and they would force me to go through the doorway. So there was all sorts of stuff that went on there. And then when
So where did they take you?
I would just go to a place, I don't know where it was. I didn't know at that point. It was just a place where there would be other kids. There would be lots of electronic stuff that would get attached to me. And then a lot of it's blank. I've just got like little bits of memory there that always return me to exactly when they took me.
Sorry, they would what?
They would return me to when they took me. Yep.
And would it be like there's no time passed that they take you?
Yeah, no time at all. So my parents would never notice, because they would slot me back into when they took me from.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Yeah, and but that's all the old technology. The stuff they've got now is even better than that.
Right.
But in any case, so when I turned 6, that's when the nasty stuff started happening. So I started having spooks that would come, and they would push me out of my body. And I was laying in bed one night, and one came out of the corner of my room and actually pushed me out. And it was the first time. So they pushed me out, and I was still connected to my heels. So I went out, and then I pinged back in again. And that was the first time I realized I wasn't my body, because I could leave it. Then I started astral traveling and just doing all sorts of stuff, trying lots of things. And then, I've got a lot of lost time. By the time I was 16, I had PTSD, panic attacks. It was quite interesting. I don't look at anything as being bad. I just look at it as being the experience. So it was definitely an experience. Psychically speaking, I was still seeing a lot. I still do, talk to dead people, whatever. And then when I was 20, I went to a lady, and that was the very first time I'd ever heard what a psychic was. Right? So she explained to me what a psychic was, and that I was one of them. I didn't know that. So that was like a massive milestone for me. That was huge, and she said to me, "You are normal. There's nothing wrong with you." And I was mortified, because never in my life would I ever thought I'd ever be okay. I wasn't normal. So when I was 21, I got on a plane and I went to the States. And when I was there, I was taken to, at gunpoint, believe it or not, I was taken to a room and put in there, and I sat there. And it was the weirdest 8 hours of my entire life. So
who put you in the room? Like you said, you went to the.
I was at the airport. I was in Hawaii, Honolulu, at the airport.
Yeah.
And I got off the plane from New Zealand, and they took me to a room. And
so the immigration did.
Yeah. And I sat there for 8 hours. After about 6 hours, someone finally came in, but it was just so weird because it was like only 2 hours had passed.
Right.
And so then someone comes in and says, "Oh, you're going to stay in America?" I said, "No, I've got my ticket. I'm going over to England. This is just a stopover for 3 months." And they said, "Okay, fine." And I said, "Hang on a minute. Is that all you're going to say to me? I've been sitting in here. I've missed my flight. I've been sitting here for all these hours, and that's all you're going to say to me?" And they were like, "Yep." And off I went. And they said, "We've already booked you another one." So I was upgraded to first class, which was
really
interesting. Just from cattle class, you know, and off I went. And when I got there, and between that and England, a lot of weird stuff started to happen. So I arrived. America was all right. It was what it was. But when I got to England 3 months later, my best friend was an SAS soldier.
Your best friend was a what?
An SAS soldier. Yeah, his name was Dave.
SAS.
SAS. So his name was Dave, and
he was currently working as an SAS.
I don't know. I wouldn't have.
Or he was one. Like
he definitely was an SAS soldier, and he became my best friend when I was in England for the whole time I was there. An older man. He was. I was only 20. I think I was 21 when I reached England, and so I met Dave. Virtually, I got a job in a pub, and then there he was. And he had a lot of PTSD and a lot going on, so I just used to talk to him. And by the time I'd left, he was quite a different person. Right. But it was just interesting how much respect he had for me, because I didn't know him from a bar of soap, and he was known as a very violent person.
He was violent? Very
violent. Yep. All of his so-called friends used to really wind him up and make him beat people up, and he was a real, just absolutely really tightly wound, and talk about, oh man, he would just snap at anything. So I would talk him through stuff, and he calmed down, and he actually stopped doing it, to the point where his friends came to me and said, "Who are you? Who do you think you are? You know, we can't wind him up anymore. What have you done to him?"
Oh, really?
So it was really interesting. And my answer to that was, obviously, you know, you're not very good mates, but I didn't say it nicely like that.
Yeah.
You know, so that was interesting. And what I noticed was that I actually got accosted. It was Finsbury Park. I'd just gotten off the tube. It was midnight. That was the last tube. And this group of guys came and started harassing me. I was walking by myself. I'd finished work. And I don't know what happened, but they accosted me. And then next thing you know, I blanked out, and I came back, and they were on the ground.
Really?
And I don't remember any of it.
Wow.
Yep, none of it at all. And
so you went into some sort of altered state, knocked them out.
Yep.
And then came back to you.
Yep. And that happened a few times.
Really?
Yeah. And I did a course, and there was a ninjutsu master that was.
So did this happen? Did you go into that altered state when you were threatened? Is that when that triggered, or was it? When did you do that again?
Only when threatened. So if someone is going to actually physically attack me,
right,
then it's like I black out, or I blank out,
right,
and then I come back when it's finished.
Wow. Wouldn't that be interesting to have that filmed, right, and see what happened?
Oh, I try to avoid it. I tried.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to this ninjutsu guy, and I told him, and I said, "This is what happens to me, and I'm really quite scared that I can really hurt somebody, you know, because what if it did just happen, and I wasn't being threatened?"
Because that's not even you, because that's not you at all.
I'm a total peaceful person, and I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm very confrontational, and I really stand up for justice, but you know, to get physical like that, oh man. So that's happened a few times. But this ninjutsu guy just said to me, "Yeah, I've heard about people like you." And I said, "Well, can you tell me anything about it? Because I do have a fear that I might actually hurt someone, you know. And he just said to me, I don't know what to tell you. I can't really tell you anything. But he said, even with who I am, you know, I'm a ninjutsu master. He said, I would run. I wouldn't even fight you. And I said, well, that's not helpful, is it? You know, I said, I really need to know, because I'm really worried, because when it happens, you know, I blank out. I got, you know, and he just said, don't know. And he said, I wouldn't fight you. I said, thanks for that.
Yeah,
so,
you didn't have an answer.
Yeah, no. So I just thought, well, I haven't hurt anyone yet, so I've just got to keep thinking logically about it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and I had this whole new sense of confidence. Now, when I was doing spook work, like my work has always been taking, I'll remove demons off people, any negative entity, I am in. Haunted houses, I am in, right?
You said you're what?
Haunted houses, anything like that.
Yeah. You said I am what?
I am in. I'm in.
You're
so
in.
I am. Yeah, I'm in. I love going and doing that work. I've done.
But
it
you like cleaning up.
Love it. Love it.
You love it. You love cleaning up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And as a kid, because I was so terrified. Yeah, well, it is, right? So as a kid, I was so terrified that what I decided when I was about 8 years old was that, because I was living in so much fear, right? Because they'd come every night, even sometimes during the day. So what I did was I thought, well, instead of freaking out and then losing the plot, I'm going to start using fear as a gauge. So if I'm really scared, then I've got a lot of work to do, or I'm going to really be attacked. If I'm a little bit, then I don't have too much work to do, and it's not going to be so bad. So that was how my little child's logical mind coped with having these things come all the time. I know, so, funny, eh?
Would you be fearless now? Do you then say that you're a fearless person?
Oh, I have lots of fears, but when it comes to this sort of work, I don't.
Right. And then if you trained yourself to do that, what about when you get a gut instinct to be careful? Because fear can be an instinct to be wary of something. Totally. Do you still have that?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I mean by how I gauge it.
Right.
Yeah. So if I start getting really scared, I know that it's going to be a big job, and I'm going to be working with some pretty interesting.
Oh, right. Oh, that's what you're saying. You're saying that you're gauging that fear level to tell you what's coming. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I don't block fear. I use fear.
Okay. No, I misunderstood. So that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And in saying that, I'm terrified of heights.
Right.
Terrified of heights. Yeah. I get vertigo badly.
Why do you think you're being pushed off a plane or a cliff or something?
Oh, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Up there it is, eh? Okay, so I had this whole newfound thing that I could do, and then I had more psychic skills that just came out of nowhere. And then when I went in and I started going to some of these lower places to, you know, get people's aspects of their souls out, soul retrieval and all that type of stuff, I'd go into these lower, more demonic, you know, lower energy areas, and these entities that were in there knew me.
And
I was like, what? They actually knew me. They knew who I was. And
they knew you. They addressed you, did they?
Well, no. I mean, whatever I wanted, I got. So they were scared of me.
Oh.
And so
how did that work? How do you mean? How did that work? Like, what do you mean?
So I had a reputation.
You had a reputation that you could clean them out, but how do you mean you get what you want? As in, you get them.
No, like you know, some of the places I've been to, for example, there was one that was a huge warehouse, and this entity had lots of souls trapped in there, and some he had contracts with, and then some he didn't. So when I went in to get this one particular person's soul back, or this aspect of their soul, as I think probably is more accurate, I saw more in there, and I said to him, you've got no contract with these ones anymore. Why are you keeping them? And he shouldn't have been, and he knew it. And I said, release them now. And he just released them. There was no fight. And I thought, what's going on here? That's so strange. And then I started finding that in a lot of different things that I was doing. I had this reputation. Where the hell from, I don't know. But they would just do what I asked them to do without a fight. I thought, well, that's interesting. So yeah. So
can I just ask you a question about these entities, because you obviously work with people clearing all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, does this happen to you? I find that when you're about to clean up some energy, work with somebody that's got, you know, all those entities, that shit hits the fan before they rock up. It's like they go like crazy. Do you find that?
Absolutely, because they know that I'm coming. And they'll know that as soon as I've spoken with the person and organised the appointment.
Okay.
Okay,
that's, yeah. And often I'll find, like I just did Cogsy, and we removed this reptilian energy that was like this black cloud that had been hanging over him, and he's been a super soldier, and he said it was the worst, you know, like really bad, as in his pain and his attacks for the 4 days prior to seeing me, like, and that's what I find is quite common or indicative, that that they know, and then they get really mad, and then they just fire up.
Yeah, because they want to stop you. They want to put you off if they can.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they want to stop that person from coming. So then you probably would get, oh, I almost didn't turn up to my appointment. You know, really, they're like, probably get that. Yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Or, you know, I feel sick, I've got a headache, and I say, no, that's okay. Come in. We're going to do it anyway. No problem.
Okay, it's good to just swap stories. That's kind of, because I'm good at getting rid of those things too. They don't scare me at all. And you know, like you, I kind of like taking off the curses and the, you know, the dark stuff, because it's just transforms the person. Like, just, I'm sure these people, you go deep, so you go to the root cause, because it's all made up of this dark energy of why we have negativity. So you'd be changing lives. People would just go, I feel like a new person. So how amazing.
Well, it really is. Sorry, that's my, let me just turn my phone off. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, it is, totally is. But I've never wanted to become a public person. I've always just wanted to stay under the radar and do my work and go home and put my feet up. You know what I mean? So I have a lot of issues towards becoming a publicly known person for doing it. And, you know, within my own area, I'm very well known for what I do.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've never done YouTube clips. I've never done anything like that, because I've always had this attitude that people who come to me are the ones that find me are the ones that I need to do the work for.
Yeah. Well, when you use those avenues, then people can find you worldwide, as opposed to just, you know, living in your country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't worry me either way, but I like to offer. It's like offering. You actually bless people's lives by offering what you do. And so you bless more people's lives by putting this out there, because people are just discovering what they've gone through. In fact, just got some responses from Cogsy's. People are starting to come write to us and go, oh, I think I've gone through that. Oh my goodness, you know, and they start paralleling stuff that he said and probably what you've now said. And then they put pieces together as the vibrations raise up, you know, these memories are coming up. Do you find that? Do you find that the high vibration on the planet is now unsuppressing people?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're having these lockdowns and what have you, because those that are the suppressors are realizing that we're waking up, and that there are so many of us that we can get rid of them.
Hang on, say that, so that we can get rid of them.
Yeah, so those few elite that are running this whole planet, right? There are so many of us that we could now get rid of them, right? We could now take our power back, and we could step back into who we truly are, which is what they don't want. So here we have the pandemic. Here we have, you know, the so-called, you know, vax. You know, and we know that's very dangerous, very, very dangerous. You know, totally. So it's really interesting times.
Yeah, isn't it? Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and share as you go along. But why don't we look at some of the things you've written down, and I'll pick one, because I'll pick one, because it often will knock off the other stuff that you wrote.
Fantastic.
Which is, I always make that an intention, and it usually does work that way. Now, I was going to work on, here's an interesting one. You said protection back. I have regular visits from remote viewers, and I still have devices put in regularly, which I keep removing. So what's that about?
Okay, so because of who I originally started working for, which were the reptilians, I'm their property. Yeah, I'm their property. So, you know, and this is from birth. I've been their property. I've had alien DNA added into my body as a you know, in the womb actually, and you know, all the way through, I've started working for them. Obviously, I changed sides at some point, but even up to, oh my God, I don't know. My free will has changed sides, put it that way. But even as recently as 10 years ago, I'd be driving the car and then get stopped at roadblocks, and 3 men in black suits would get in my car, and then I'd wake up in my bed the next morning like it was a dream, and I know damn well it wasn't a dream.
Wow.
Right? This is the sort of stuff. This has been my life, and it does my head in because I'm not interested in that. Really not interested. So that, you know, episodes like that, getting taken from my bed at night, even as an adult. And I went through 2 decades.
That's exactly what Cogsy said. He said he would get taken at night from his bed as well. Yeah,
they just take you. Yeah, but I was really sick for about 2 decades. I had severe heavy metal toxicity and was told by heaps of doctors that there's no way I could ever detox. Even went to people who were supposedly the ones to go to, you know, if you were dying and you had 3 weeks to live, they could save you. And they were just like, no, you can't take it out, because if we try and remove that, if it detaches from the cells, you'll have hours to live because you're so much. And so after being told that I should be dead and, you know, would drop dead at any time, in the end, as far as the doctors go, I just said to them, I'm not listening to you anymore. You're full of crap. You know, I've got abilities. I can help people. I know I'm not jumping ship, so I'm not taking the drugs, you know. And I actually walked out with a team of doctors chasing me, of one of our big hospitals over here, and I just was like, nah, get out of my face. And so I started on the path of finding anyone that I could possibly find that was weird and wonderful and whatever. Now, for 2 decades, I worked on that, and then it was actually Kathy Gifford, who was one of your students. She pulled all of that out of my body about 2 months ago.
What did she pull out?
Leaving all the mercury, and there was mercury, and there was plutonium. There was all heaps of radioactive heavy metals and crap, and I saw it all leave. It was an amazing thing to watch. And then from that moment, I can now walk for more than 10 minutes straight. I can lift anything. Now I can push a lawnmower. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. I couldn't do for 2 decades.
Cool.
Which made me definitely believe in this.
Cool. Fantastic. Love that. Thank you. Can I just ask you then, you've given me some emotional, spiritual stuff to work on. I just want to know, because physical stuff is a benchmark of how, you know, you have to benchmark that much more quickly. What physical problems do you have at the moment?
Right now, my heart still plays up. And I've started doing fitness again. I used to be incredibly fit. So I've started doing fitness again, and
So would your energy levels then be affected? Because you talked about like you couldn't push a lawnmower, but now you can. So are they still affected, or are they good now?
No, they're pretty good now.
Okay.
They're not as good as I'd like them to be, because I know how I used to feel.
So maybe And then your heart, is that like a fast, heart rate?
So right now, all that I have left is that I don't get tachycardia and AF anymore, because I used to get that about 8-10 hours a day, and have it all night. But now I only get it. So I'll lay down in bed, and then my heart will start to pound really hard. That pings around. I've got a permanent irregular heartbeat, so that pings around quite often.
Right.
Very annoying.
So is this pounding every day?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you'll be able to know within a day then if this is shifted, or within a week, if it's permanently shifted, or a month or whatever. Good, cool. Anything else physical? Any pain, anything?
I have problems with my feet.
Okay.
So I did have neuropathy in my feet. And since Kathy took out that mercury, that's gone down to about 20%.
Okay.
So there's just that little bit left there. And I just feel like I'm walking on glass.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So can I just ask you then, because what amazes me is people go through this trauma and then still survive and still function. Has this been like heart-wrenching for you to overcome, or what's the journey been like of having lived through it and then having to come out this end? What does that look like?
So I have had to hang on to my sanity many times.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I have been, I had so many problems, but I was a regular visitor to hospital over many years with symptoms that were stroke-like, but I never had a stroke, with mimicked heart attacks. They were the main ones, but they'd never find anything. And then I did have weird stuff, like I went through a period where if I took vitamins, my body would assimilate them within seconds. So it was like someone wound me up, and then I'd be like an Energizer bunny.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. And then I'd wind down just as quick and be in like severe fatigue in minutes. It was crazy. So that went on for a little while.
Can I just stop on that one? I will say, with me, if I take something for the first time, or the second time new, it's like it's amplified 100 times, and then my body gets used to it. Or even with new energy stuff or whatever. So is it like that, or is it not like that?
No, not like that. It's every single time I would take it, it would do it.
Okay.
And there was so much that I would get tachycardia, even from simple things like, because I've never been a sleeper, I tried the children's sleep drops, and I did one drop, which is half a dose, and it threw me into tachycardia. And I mean, threw me into it. It was crazy.
So there must be some sort of program in you or something.
Well, there has to be. There's got to be AI. There's got to be embedded commands. I've had so much crap with embedded commands over the years. That's just about done my head in. I've got one too, even using computers. They obviously didn't want me to be able to use computers, because simple things I find so difficult, and I get my children to do stuff for me because I get so frustrated with simple, stupid things that I should know. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my kids show me, and then it's forgotten immediately.
Really? Yeah. How? Oh, wow. Have you gone through a deep depression, having to overcome all this? Have you ever felt?
Yep. When I was a teenager, I did suffer from depression, because I just felt so incredibly alone, because I was attacked all the time and no one could help me. And I didn't even talk about it in the end. I just stopped talking about it, and I'd just wait for them to come, and then they'd do the thing and they'd go. That was, that was like a giving up, if you like. I had to surrender because I couldn't stop them. And then when I had the PTSD, that was when I was 16, I just sat with that until I was in my early 20s, and that's when I went and that when that lady said to me there was nothing wrong with me, and explained that she saw the stuff I saw, and she knew about it. I mean, that was massive. That just about blew my mind. And she said, you can go here, go here, go here. So I started doing course after course after course to try and learn about who I was, and that included therapy. And then I decided, you know what, I'm not going to go and get therapy. I'm going to become the therapist, so I can work out how my mind ticks, because these people still don't know what I know, and I can't expect them to know. I mean, even as a child, when I'd tell mum and dad things, and they'd be like, oh, it's in your imagination, and stop talking about it, and you're being stupid. And so I just, at that point, worked out in my little child brain that it was only because they couldn't see what I could see, so it was okay. Here's the logic there. So I just let it go, and I understood that they didn't know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's quite amazing.
Do you know why you were targeted? Like why they've gone and done these things to you? And
yes, I do, but I can't really say.
Because why?
I can't say.
You can't say?
No.
Okay.
I'm happy to tell you that privately.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
But yes, I do. It is.
You do know.
There are reasons for it, and my family has been targeted. I will tell you this. Someone I know was getting some stuff happening, and they kept seeing some like letters and numbers. So I said, well, you better write them down. And so they started writing them down, and I said, well, have you tried to Google them? And they were like, no, I'm too scared. And I said, well, it might be a good idea to do it, because you're getting given this for a reason. So they didn't. So then next thing you know, it's been scratched into their skin. Yeah, there's a little bit extreme, but there it is, and scratched onto tables where they're sitting. And I said, look, just Google them for goodness sake, So when they did, they actually, these sequences took them to different government websites. And one in particular was one that was a genetic government website, and putting in the different, orders of these symbols, took them to one where there were tens of thousands, probably millions of people's names on there. But when they looked up my name, there was me and some of my other family members. So
really,
it's gone back into yeah.
Wow. So there's an actual website that if you knew what it was called, you could go and find if your name's there, and and that would probably mean that you've been targeted.
Yeah. And mine was the one that let's just say was the most asterisked. So I was definitely down there as an active.
Right. And as for this website, how do we find out what the name is?
I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue. It was not one that you could go on without those codes. It was definitely
it's like a code.
Public website.
Yeah. And so you don't remember the code?
Well, no, I wasn't. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So while this person was doing it and looking at this, a message came through that said you've got 30 seconds to get off before you're tracked. So this person completely panicked and got off, and then four SUVs turned up outside that person's work, and this person freaked out and ran, and they came into that particular work, and then all the ones around, and talked to every person in that business to try and find out where he'd gone. And to talk about freaked out. And I just said, look, the bottom line is, if they meant business, they would have found you. So that was just them letting you know that that's as far as you go. It was really interesting. So I had confirmation, physical confirmation, that I wasn't imagining it all at that point.
We've so been hidden from the truth, and what, like, this underworld is just unreal.
So yeah, so that that's the ownership they have, that they think they have over me, but I will not be owned, and I know, I just know stuff that I shouldn't know without finding it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I've studied. I know magic's real. I know magic is what they've taken off our species on purpose. I know
magic. You're talking about magic.
Magic, yeah, real magic. And I know that I've had people who were like med beds, la la la. But you know what they did to us? They actually have mimicked what we could naturally do with their technology. They have made us forget that we can do it, and then they've made us think that we need their technology in order to survive. We're naturally telepathic. We don't even need phones, You know
what? You're so right.
Yeah, and we are natural healers. We can heal each other and do what we need to do. We don't even need drugs, but they make us believe we do.
Imagine a world of a population that wasn't poisoned, wasn't abused, wasn't MK Ultra, wasn't programmed, was told that they're unlimited, and all the opposite.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be living in peace, and we were before they came here. Yeah, and they've taken away our history. They have completely rewritten our history. They are such liars, you know, and it's all just because we're their minions. They own us as far as they're concerned.
Yeah. So where do you see humanity going at the moment?
You know, it's an interesting question, eh? What I see is that they're going to be lucky if they win. But the problem is that we're going to need to stand, you know, in our power. We're going to need to stand on our own 2 feet. And I think it's going to take a few generations in order for us to release this programming that we've had put on us. But I do believe it's going to be quicker than what we think it will be. You know, because there are those of us who are going to help anybody that needs it.
Yeah.
And, you know, those that are not meant to be here won't be, you know, and those that are will be. And we will rebuild. No matter what they do, we will rebuild. We are a species that has survived for millennia and beyond, you know, so
if you think about it, though, if you think about all the programming and how they're actually trying to kill us, and those that decide to believe the government and follow the government, they're actually killing them off first, and they're there. And they're the prison guards, really. They're the ones that have been pushing the agenda. So if they kill them off, and then those that don't agree and obey and know what they're doing, and they keep exposing themselves because it's so crazy, then inevitably they're just building a spiritual race by the push, don't you think?
Yeah, but they don't see that. What they see is that they'll get rid of the weak ones first. So they're the ones that are really brainwashed. And once they've gotten rid of those ones, then they'll take care of the other ones.
But then they keep losing their army.
Don't they?
I think I understood just what Cogsy also said, and I've heard this before, that they were anticipating to also trigger their super soldiers.
Yes, funnily enough. And look what we're doing. A lot of us have woken up a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting. They couldn't program me. There's a lot I've remembered, a lot I haven't, but they've done things to me that they've tried to make me commit crimes and things, and that's been interesting.
How have they done that?
Well, I would just be somewhere, wherever it was, and all of a sudden I'd get this feeling of it's okay to go and commit a crime, and it would feel like it's like being on a beach on a hot summer's day, and you know you're going to have a swim, and you're going to enjoy the swim, and it's going to be wonderful. And it's that same feeling of knowing that it's okay to go and commit this crime. And then all of a sudden I'd get this vision, and it would actually literally be going like this in my head, going in and out, this vision just moving in and out. And I'd think, hang on a minute, I'm not going to commit any crimes. What the hell is this crap in my head? And so what I do is go somewhere and barricade myself in somewhere and sit in the corner of a room and not move until it stopped.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is the thing, though. I just wonder what's this done to your life, having to deal with all this. This just
I don't know. I think it just makes you stronger, and to me, it was good practice, because the more they did it, the more practice I got, and the better I got at it. Of completely refusing to comply. I wouldn't comply. I think I was just lucky that I was awake enough that I didn't listen to it and didn't go with it.
Amazing.
Because it's freaky, because I tell you what, it just feels so right to do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's that totally, you know, wonderful, absolutely, definitely okay to do. It's like, yeah, you know.
Oh, God.
Freakiest thing.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And also, so now that you're aware, you actually have to be really clear in, it's what I call is do the math of the universal laws. That's what I say to people. I say you have to get rid of your emotion, but just do the math of the universal laws. You know, the basic is, if I harm that person, that's definitely wrong. There's no justification, or kill someone or whatever. But I go into more detail of the universal laws. But that's basically what you have to really hang on to and go, hang on, my intellect tells me it's wrong, and this is a program, and I'm not going to buy into it. I'm going to resist.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So I started studying philosophy when I was 26. Oh. And I still study it today. So moving into wisdom is what I've chosen to do. Don't get me wrong, I still sometimes do some things like if I hear a child screaming, and it doesn't matter where I am, I have to go and find that child, and I have to make sure no one's hurting that child, and I can't stop myself. Like I can, but I just have to know that child's okay. And I can only imagine where that comes from, but it's irrational. But as soon as I've seen that child's okay and they're just having a tantrum or whatever, that's fine, it all stops and I walk away. But if I come across anyone that's doing anything that they shouldn't be doing to a child, I just want to kill them. And obviously I don't, and I haven't, and I won't, but that's the feeling I get. I have to protect children. It's really funny.
Yeah.
You know, and I worked in a kindy for a little while, so you can imagine.
Really?
Yeah, I was running all around the kindy making sure screaming children were okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Gosh, we could talk forever. This has been amazing. So thank you. That's just been so amazing. Well, let's move on to looking at, you say, okay, you've got protection from those visits.
Oh yeah, the remote viewers. Oh, they do my head in.
How often do you get that interference?
They just come, and you know, remote viewers obviously are living people that are just coming
every week.
Be nosy. Yeah, they come every week. They might come 3 or 4 days in a row, and they just stand there and watch. And now what I do is I walk up to them and I go like this, and I'm like in their energy, and I say, "Get out of my damn, you know, get in my freaking house."
Can you remote view?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I don't do it because, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not nosy enough. So I only do my work. So, you know, like for example, if I'm driving my car and someone has called me from Sweden and they want me to clear their house out, I can just drive my car and I can just whip over there and do it while I'm driving and clear out the whole house. And then when I get to where I'm going, they'll give me a call and I'll say, and you know, because I'll say, make sure you ring me when you're ready, or I'll ring them and I'll say, how's your house feeling? And they'll be like, oh my God, it's amazing. And some people have actually seen a doorway open and they'll see a little blue ball of it's a blue ball of light with silver and gold flicks all through it. And they've said they've actually seen that come through and they've seen it float around the house and then leave again. So funny. Wow. Yeah.
So when you remote view, do you actually see their house or do you just see the entities? What are you looking at when you're going into their house?
Yeah, I see the inside of the house and I just go through the house. I obviously see the entities as well, and I just clean house. I use the holograms. That's what I teach as well as what I do. You would have seen that on my website probably. I use those for everything, and I teach like mad. I've got a young guy at the moment who's had, let's just say he's been forcibly approached by a group, and they want him to join them, and this is Black Sun Order, this is you know, all that crap, and he doesn't want to. So he was put on to me by someone I know, and I've just spent the last couple of months with him disconnecting him from all of that. And they've attacked me a few times, but you know, parlor tricks. Nice try. But
how do you feel when you're getting attacked? What is the feeling?
It's not a problem. I just deal with it.
What is it? What happens to you?
I'll feel, it's like I feel something creeping up behind me. And sometimes I do it in dreams. So I have got to a point where I'm pretty good in my dreams. So I just fight back in the dreams. It's not really too much of an issue. Most of the time they panic when they see I've got that control in a dream, because they expect people to have no control over the dreams. So it's a really good way to get in, right? So because I am aware during dreams, even that, they just kind of tend to back off because they don't have that that freedom, if you like. I'm pretty good at what I do. Probably the last thing, I was watching something on YouTube. Now I also like to know what these guys are doing. So I put myself in positions where I can be attacked on occasion because I want to see what they're going to do. So I was watching something on YouTube, and my intuition said turn it off, and I thought, okay, this is good. I like this. And this thing, actually, it was what they usually use, they're like balls of energy with all these tentacles coming out, right? That's a pretty common thing they do to people. So it jumped out of the computer screen and went straight into my heart chakra. And it was like getting punched in the chest. So I rang up my girlfriend and I said, quick, have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see what's going on here. So she had a look, and I didn't tell her what it was, but she described it perfectly. And so she started to pull it out, because I said to her, well, you have a go. We need to play with this. We need to experiment and see, what tech they're using. So she started to pull it out, and then it jumped onto her. So there was one on her as well. So then we started practicing, and we pulled them out of each other and got rid of them. So now we know that they've got this stuff in certain in YouTube clips that people are watching, and they're actually jumping into their bodies, and if you're not aware of it, you don't know.
Yes.
But this is another way they're getting to people,
What were you watching? What was it?
Oh, it was some of the reptilian stuff. Some of the reptilian elite stuff. The reptilian elite stuff. Reptilian.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Reptilian elite stuff.
Well, if it's about reptiles, then that's law of attraction. Of course, they're going to be a conduit for them to come in.
Yes, it was so interesting.
Yeah.
But actually, what I will tell you is about 8 years, no, it would have been 6 years ago, I was at the airport taking my daughter to the airport. She was going overseas. And I was sitting in the chair, and I had this feeling to run, to absolutely get out of there. And I don't run. So I sat there, and I just turned around. And as I turned around, I didn't stop. I just kept turning. And what I saw was a guy sitting there, and he had lots of tats. He had a dead eye, and he looked pretty rugged, and he was dressed in army gear. So I just kept looking past him, and I could see him out of my peripherals as I was looking at my daughter, who was over at the McDonald's thing, buying McDonald's before she went away. And I turned back around, and as I looked at him, I thought, I know you. I absolutely know you. And I started to get all of these flashes in my head, and I started to get all of these memories coming through. And I just sat there and tried to look normal, because I was panicking. It was just the freakiest thing. And my partner, Nigel, he was sitting beside me, and he sort of knew something was happening. And so it was just flash after flash after flash. And I definitely did know him. There's no two ways about it. Then all of a sudden it was gone. And I turned back around, and he wasn't there anymore. It just gone. And it was so fast. It was incredible. And then after that, that's when I really started triggering, like massively triggering, and started getting a lot of memory back.
Wow.
That was an interesting one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's then start this process.
Yes.
And I'm going to go through, removal of all blocks to technology, removal of embedded commands, connection to source fully reinstated, full psychic ability unblocked completely in your connection to Melchizedek, all weaponized viruses and bacteria, molds and organisms removed and blocked, clarity on who you work for, clarity on who I work for. So what's that mean?
Well, let's just, I would like to be completely disconnected from, this crap from the Black Sun Order. I mean, I know the Black Sun Order inside and out, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Because I obviously have moved well out of that now. But, the fact that the remote viewers are still showing, they're still turning out. That to me tells me that they still think, I'm going to turn my light on, honey, hang on. That to me tells me that they still think that they own me. They still think they have rights to me.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think is the reason that this stuff is still happening?
Because I'm a threat to them.
Just why?
I'm a threat to them, and they know it.
Yeah.
And they made me what I am, so they know what I'm capable of. They know what I can do.
And can I just ask you one more question? How often do you go into their world? Like you said, you watched that video and then you told your friend to watch it. How often would you do stuff like that?
Oh, not very often. Not very often. But, I want to know what they're doing, because if I don't know, then I don't have that knowledge and I can't use that knowledge. So
Yeah.
that's the only reason I do it. And you know, immediately it's taken care of. It. I don't let it stay.
Yeah. 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 Because there's, I mean, because it's kind of almost like you're sacrificing yourself for the good. And
I don't see it like that. I just see it like I'm learning. And if I can get that firsthand experience, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of things I will not do. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Places I won't go.
Well, it's just, you know, the priority. And I think this is what is to get you the strongest. And you know, there's so many holes and there's so much dark stuff there. But, you know, we know that they're chucking stuff out all the time anyway. But I'm just I just want to make clear that you're not going back and, you know, reconnecting.
Oh, no.
But all right. Because that's because you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that to learn. You already know. All right. Because I would say that would be something that I would say next time don't do it, because
well, I didn't expect that to happen.
Sorry, what?
I didn't expect that to happen. That was a surprise.
Then the what happened?
I didn't expect that thing to jump out of the computer screen and into my heart chakra. That was
look, I've turned on a video and I've gone, I'm out of here straight away.
Yeah.
And I know that I would be getting stuff. Sure, but yeah. So but
but I will say
that's what the cabal do. They'll do, you know, I mean, the media's full of it, you know, all the the symbolism everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I do have a kamikaze side, though.
You do?
I do have a kamikaze side.
Yes. And so this this I'm just trying to grab everything to get you to your full capacity. And so you know, and I'm like, it's a bit like saving pennies. I say save your pennies, because at some point it comes to something big. So you need all the energy you can get. And I would, you know, I mean, I don't deal with women that have gone through stuff like that but I'll talk to someone and I'll talk about like karma for them. I go, okay, we'll just smile at someone, collect pennies, because all that good energy accumulates and then you get more powerful. That's all. That's
cool. Yep. I help anybody.
And I'm not saying that you don't. All I'm saying is we got to get energy, and I just didn't know how often you would do that. Okay. All cool. All right. So let's get on with this.
Okay.
So then how do we benchmark this if it's shifted, like you feel like no one's interfering with your energy, you feel like you're more connected to source? Is it sort of like a feeling that you'll get? Yeah.
I mean, love was something that I was disconnected from until I met my partner, Nigel, 8 years ago. I didn't even believe in it.
Oh, really?
No, absolutely not. I just thought it was some crap you saw on TV that Hollywood made up. Yeah, totally. And I completely believed that. And then I met Nigel, and I was a horror show for him. He is this beautiful, calm. He's a Kiwi boy, but for the last 30 years, he's studied Tibetan Buddhism. Right? With his masters, he is just beyond anything. And how the hell he puts up with me, I don't know. But he taught me what it was. I didn't believe it. I tried to break up with him, and he was like, no, that doesn't feel right. We need to talk about this. And I'm just like going, what? You know, the patience of this man.
The universe has definitely delivered you an angel. My goodness.
Absolutely.
That just goes to show you know, the universe has given you something to give you that hope, to get you through, to help humanity. That's what you're here for, and you'll tell me later more. So I love him. I think that's such a beautiful story. I love him too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. I'm just going to open the case, and then I'm going to go. First of all, I've just created this list. So it's new. You have to add in the awakening module, and it's called this parasitic entity voices effect, and remove that. So amazing. 1 to 10 to 20, 21 to 10 to 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27. reveal the truth of the voices being a parasitic entity triggers backlash. So we're going to find out what the voice is saying, but the effect will be that if you reveal the truth of them being a parasitic entity, so you'll get back, it triggers a backlash. So that's part of what this, I wrote this from, was a research done by this guy who did 35 years in the mental asylums. And he said that everybody there would say voices were speaking to them. And he said all the voices were telling the same thing. So he said they weren't hallucinating because it wasn't varied. It was all the same stuff. And he said that this entity, this demonic entity, would go and tell them. So I go, and he said the industry, what was he, some sort of psychotherapist, didn't want to know. He wasn't allowed to even say this if they were supposed to be medicated, but he did all this research. So this is where this comes from. He's given me 110 different statements that these voices will say, and I'm going to pick the one for you, A, B. So 56 to 60 to 70, 70, 80, 81, 82, 84 says, 84 says, others look down on you, you're a fool. How does any of that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So there would have been a voice, you're a fool, you're not, you're whatever.
Yep.
And probably because you're so different.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it would always say, stop talking. No one wants to know about that stuff. Shut up. You're not worthy. You're not worth anything. Went through all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I, Robyn Marie, cancel, void, and reject the parasitic demonic entity causing the effect that
if I reveal the truth of the voices being a if I reveal the truth of the voices being a parasitic entity triggers backlash.
Of the voices being a parasitic entity, backlash. Yep. I, Robyn Marie, reject and refuse the lies the parasitic entity voices tell me. Oh, my head's going funny.
That is 84 was, others look down on me and I'm a fool.
That others look down on me and I'm a fool. So I reject and refuse the lies the parasitic entity voices tell me, that others look down on me and that I'm a fool. Oh, my head's going all funny. I acknowledge the lies and deception of the parasitic entity and reclaim control over my mind, thoughts, sovereignty, birthright, and divinity. I reclaim the truth that I am.
So we reverse it now.
Yeah.
So you would say that I am a sovereign, powerful, integral, worthy, or truthful, whatever you want to say.
My head's going all funny, so you might have to help me out.
Okay, so I reclaim. Yeah,
I reclaim the truth that I am sovereign. Oh, now you'll have to help me out. Oh my God.
Say truthful. I think truthful because they tell you you're not.
Yep, truthful.
Honest.
Integral.
Powerful. Free. Being. Okay.
I close all harmful portals, gateways, grid systems, stargates, and access routes to my energy field, and refuse any demonic or parasitic entity access to my mind, body, and soul. Holy crap. I choose to live as a sovereign, powerful, divine being and only accept information and connection from the pure organic source energy. I choose to live in oneness with humanity from this point forward. I am blessed.
Nice deep breath and then.
Oh, mama. Oh, hot. Yep.
Okay, so what did you feel?
I felt like a whole lot of pressure inside my head. I felt like there was something that was being taken from this side of my head, like it was being pulled out. Actually, my whole left side of my body went all weird. and it still is weird. And then my breathing got a lot heavier, like I'd had the wind kicked out of me. Oh, I feel like I've just done like the 10-mile run. Whew, it's good.
Okay. All right. So now let's go to a pathway. Energy, physics, emotion, spirit, soul, awakening. We go into the awakening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This one is crystal, rose heart opening, and diamond sun body activation. It upgrades the DNA, merges the chakras, heart and mind, connects the Paleo-radian activation in the tribal shield, Trinity consciousness, and cosmic Christus unity consciousness to transcend to the next universe. The pathway upgrades the consciousness connection to the pure source energy to activate the ascension process, spiritual gifts, 5D and beyond consciousness for the full embodiment of solar consciousness, and oversoul embodiment activation includes crystal heart, restoration, and opening. All good for that? You good for that one?
Totally, bring it on.
Sorry?
Bring it on.
Cool. All right. So let's go to the awakened scan list. There's 60 there. So it's 10 to 20, number 32. And okay, God code YHWH. The mapping of the genetic code known as the DNA, a map of the 4 DNA bases that carry the ability to sustain life. These chromosomes are paired differently for each person. Human DNA contains 23 pairs of chromosomes, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon, and other acidic counterparts. Encoded within these elements is the amazing blueprint of life that proves the Creator has put his own unique stamp on every person. This stamp is actually his name, as revealed to Moses through thousands of years. So there'll be a block on your God code. So this is to release that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Let's give me age 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything at age 10?
Those were the years that I had loads of activity going on, and it was all nasty. So I had every night ghosts would come. Oh, actually, you know what popped into my head? Always as a child, I would get up and have like go to the toilet 3 times a night. I never was a sleeper. And some nights I would get up and there would be about that deep, like on the floor, it's like a pool of electrical energy. And it was only on the floor in my bedroom. And there would be lots of snakes and all this weird kind of half mutated practice like floating around in it. It was just weird. And what I'd do is I would actually stand on my bed to get up to go to the toilet, and I would leap out the door, so I would miss standing in it to go through it, because my door where my bed was about a foot away from the actual door.
Wow.
Yeah, and I would leap out of it and then run upstairs, and I'd go and see whoever was upstairs waiting for me, and then just pretend like it wasn't there and go to the toilet and then run back down to my bedroom and then hope I could make it back to my bed. Sometimes I didn't. I'd land in that, and it was like an electrical current. And then I'd get back into bed and just, yeah, wait for sunlight, basically.
Wow. Okay, so we're going back to the trauma and the stress then. All right, here we go. I, Marisa, request access to all levels of advanced consciousness, advanced dimensions, the guardian host, crystal star guardians, crystal star ascension hosts, the aquafarian shield, and enlightened beings to safely remove carbon matrix matter and the block on the God code, WYHWH. Originated at the age of 10 to safely restore and open Robyn Marie's crystal rose heart and activate her diamond somebody. Confirm balance, restoration, and repair of global grid system and 12th dimensional templates. God particle, diamond crystalline heart, Albion body, 6D to 7D planetary heart wings. Mary Sophianic solar star body.
Oh man, yep.
Confirm full activation of the diamond solar heart stargate to the infinite source, the source of all light in creation, through reconnection alignment of cosmic blueprint and template. Liquid Christos light. The divine organization. $12-strand DNA, the solar flash, 12-dimensional stargates, diamond solar heart, crystals in the Avery navel. Okay, so now we're going to open the crystal rose heart opening and diamond sun body activation. Right, so I reconnect you, we'll get you off the base 10 false tree grid onto this 12 tree grid. Alignment of the masculine energy centers and stargates, which are on the right side, and I go up from 2 to 5, and you can follow it up as I go, 8, then to 11. Alignment of the feminine energy centers and stargates, which are on the left side, and it starts at 1. I go up to 4, follow it up to 7, and then up to 10. Alignment of the central channel Hara line of embodiment triggers, start at 3, which is personality. 6 is the soul. Oversoul is number 12, and source consciousness is 12. So we go straight up the Hara line there. Reconnect that. Confirm the activation of Robyn Marie's diamond sun body and rainbow aurora crystal shield through the alignment of the 12-dimensional stargate connection to the Hara line. Confirm the 144 balanced energy center stargates to transmit 144 harmonic frequencies of creation through her light body, planetary rod and staff. Confirm the safe merging of the physical body and light body to restore the original template and templates, balance the energy centers to construct Robyn Marie diamond sunbody and activate the crystal rose heart. Access Robyn Marie's personal sovereignty, unification of her heart brain through the 0-point window, blend and merge the divine masculine feminine, transform all that does not align to her highest expression, align the set of instruction template and reset to its original organic code frequencies of the divine blueprint creation. So now you repeat this right here.
Okay. I, Robyn Marie, choose to safely release all imbalances and negative patterns, blocking the opening of my crystal rose heart and diamond sun body originating at the age of 10. I confirm the removal and transmutation of
the block on my God code.
The block on my God code from my
YHWH.
YHWH. Okay, from my light body. I choose to restore my connection to the organic pure source energy through quantum light and frequencies, the aurora light opening, the consciousness units and the rays of the next universe, oh good grief, to open and connect with my heart. I confirm the restoration of my DNA sequencing to its original divine blueprint to expand and evolve into 5D and beyond for complete integration and unity. I allow my brain and heart to merge as one to receive and send light to all 144 frequencies of the cosmos. I choose to accept and allow the blessings of the awakening process for my soul to evolve and live in oneness with humanity. I declare and decree my sovereignty from this point forward. I am blessed. Wow. Man.
Shake it out.
Yeah. Whoa, my head. Everything. Wow.
Okay, what are you feeling?
I went into tachycardia. My whole body started shaking. I felt like a massive headache, like I'd been whacked in the back of the head back here, and really dizzy, and just like I wanted to just crack up laughing and just laugh and laugh and laugh. Yeah, I'm buzzing. My whole body is still buzzing. And my heart's
So is this
around.
a shift? Is this a shift? A new
Yeah.
shift?
Yeah, definitely.
Is this a new feeling?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It definitely is.
What is it that you now feel differently about?
I feel much lighter. I feel like I've been unplugged from dragging around a big slab of concrete, if that makes any sense. That's what it feels like. I've still got stuff going on, like I can feel stuff happening with my neck now.
Okay.
My heart's still pinging around.
Okay.
But I definitely do feel different.
Cool. Well, I'm going to close the case. I know we talked a lot. So like I'm teaching 7-Day Live on Monday. So if you wanted, we can do one more catch up, same kind of thing. If you're interested in,
totally.
2 weeks or something like that, just do one more if you're open.
Yeah, sure.
And because you're fascinating. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So are you.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's close this case. And this will integrate all of that.
Ooh-wee.
Use the Apana mode. Tips of your middle and ring. Okay. I request the purification and cleansing process of white and gold pure organic light. Dissolve all negative energies and attachments from Robyn Marie. Myself, this room, this building, surrounding area, anyone or anything affected by this healing. I request closure and disabling of harmful portals, gateways, channels, stargates, NAA, firewalls, and access routes to other dimensions, realities, controlling, interfering, or siphoning Anne-Marie's soul and energy life force. I confirm the etheric, astral, mental, and causal light bodies are cleansed and strengthened, that all Sephirotic healing forces are activated and connected to the organic, pure, white light source. For the opening of the crystal heart rose and activation of Robyn Marie's diamond sun body, I ask the guardian and angels to pour blessings upon Robyn Marie for all the things she requires to obtain soul freedom and sovereignty. I ask that they guide and protect her and lead her on a path of empowerment to assist with the evolution of her soul and humanity. I ask that healing may continue throughout this time, and that Robyn Marie may always know she is of divine infinite worth and holds the power and choice for her transformation. I now confirm these requests have taken place and that this healing is complete. Take a deep breath in.
Oh. Thank you very much.
Cool. And then you can give me feedback in a couple of weeks on what has shifted, because, you know, time tells everything, right?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm just going to stop the recording. So thank you so much. Thank you for participating.